Right. Aloha! All right, if you're not already taking a seat, please do. We're going to get started. So I'm Chenoa Farnsworth. I'm going to first kick us off with an introduction of Blue Startups for those of you who aren't familiar with Blue, which hopefully really none of you, but you never know. All right, so this is me. I'm one of the founders of Blue Startups. Primarily, my background is in investing and angel investing. My partners are the Rogers family. They own the Tetris company. Little known fact, that Tetris is headquartered in Honolulu. So, very cool, right? All right, so Blue Startups was started 10 years ago with the mission of diversifying the economy in Hawaii. And more recently, we have focused on female founders. You'll see a lot of them today. I'm super proud of this cohort, which is 70% female founded, which is very cool. All right, so we are a 10 years in the making accelerator. Can you believe it? Yeah, I'm tired too. Just thinking about it. We've invested in 109 companies. This is cohort 14 that you're going to hear from today. Woo! All right, so the program we run once a year, 8 to 10 companies. We get about 500 applications, so it is very competitive to get in the program. Our companies have raised in total 500 million in follow-on funding, actually more than that, but I'll get to that in a minute. That's just the VC funding. We also host an annual event in Hawaii called East Meets West. Many of you have been in Hawaii for that event, and hopefully we'll be back in business in 2023. And you can come to Hawaii again and have a good experience. We're also a member of the Global Accelerator Network. All right, this was the big news this last year. We had our first IPO. Bonda went public. That was a company from our very first cohort. So fun. As you can see, I actually got to go to New York for the bell ringing, which was like pretty much the highlight of my career life. Not my life, but my career life for sure. And that was sorry, I don't know what's happening. Okay, and then uh-oh. I know. Hi, Tim, you're messing up my thing. No, just kidding. Wow, poor Bill, he doesn't know he's on the full screen. Okay. All right, so what is the program? We do 12 weeks program in Hawaii and virtual, and then 1 week here in San Francisco. So this is our capstone week in San Francisco. We have over 400 investors in our network, over 300 alumni, founders in our network, and over 175 mentors in our network. So thanks to all of you who are part of that network for coming out today. In terms of what we provide the companies, we do invest up to $100,000 and then provide them with perks up to $1 million in perks. And then of course, customer introductions. All right, some of the things we focus on, sector and founders. So sectors, we do a lot of travel tech, because we are in Hawaii, tourism industry. We do a lot of software, and then sustainability is our third bucket. In terms of the founders we focus on, Hawaii first, where we can find very strong companies in Hawaii. That's a priority for us. And then female-founded companies, and then our east-west focus, so pack-room companies. All right, and our special sauce, I like to say, is our ohana. So we are a family. We definitely create bonds with our groups. Every cohort has bonded with each other. They can all attest to that. We are the opposite of a cattle call type accelerator, very high touch. I think it pays dividends in the long run. What do you guys think? Okay. And then some of our outcomes, we have been at it for a while. We have a great survival rate of companies. We are increasing our rate of female-founded companies over time. Very much like to get that number to continue to go up. And creating jobs, and of course the follow-on funding. So that's a bit about Blue. And then we're going to get started with the program. All right. Let's see. First up, we have Biz with Liquid Donate.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. I am now an echo. Awesome. So my name is Petit. I am the founder and CEO of Liquid Donate, where we believe that there's a home for everything. I'd first like to start out by introducing you to my team. So we have myself, and then we have my co-founder and CTO, Tighe. Tighe and I work together at Postmates. Is there any way we can stop the echo?
Turn off the other microphone.
This is going exactly as I planned. I can also just talk loud. Oh, it went away. All right, so we have Chiara, my co-founder and CTO. He's sitting right back here. And we worked together at Postmates where I was employee number 15. And we built a number of food security products together, one which won the Time Magazine Invention of the Year Award. Next, we have Pablo Hernandez. He is our CRO, and we also worked together during my 8 years at Postmates, where he led key accounts and closed them as our sales lead. And then we have Danielle Cooper, a bit of a wild card. He's an ex-urban planner who is working to help us reimagine how items move around cities. While Chen and I were working on building these different food security products at Postmates, we wondered that if there was that much inefficiency in the food industry that could be solved with technology, what other industries could we impact? And that's when we found the dark side of retail, returns. If you take a moment to just think about the last item that you returned, what do you think happened to it? You might be surprised to know that 16% of all items that are bought in the US are returned. 80% of those end up directly in the landfill, and 20% end up in an inefficient liquidation process. Both of those buckets contribute to our current climate catastrophe. And the problem here is that retailers don't have a sustainable way to handle this excess inventory, and COVID-19 has only exacerbated this problem with inefficient supply chains and behavior from consumers that is difficult to predict. And so retailers are incurring $704 billion on average in merchandise returns. And nonprofits, the organizations that are helping us meet our missions as quickly as possible, need items that are free so that they can spend that money on other programmatic costs. And lastly, each year, 6 billion pounds of waste is generated through returns. And so our product comes in here. Our product has 3 main components. First, we have a donation as a service API that integrates directly with the point of sale for in-store retail stores as well as e-commerce. The second pillar of our program is that we built a matching algorithm that allows nonprofits to let us know exactly what they need, when they need it, and how quickly they can come get it. And last, we're the perfect team to be building out fulfillment logistics. We spent a lot of time at Postmates figuring out how to make delivery work. And so now with our options, we have free pickup for nonprofits, and then we're also integrating a shipping and delivery option as well for the consumers. On the left side, our network of retailers that we're building allows us to have a steady supply of items that are going to nonprofits, who are over here on our right side, taking up the demand. And not only are we saving, not only does our solution work for both retail stores and nonprofits, but it also helps to reduce the operational costs for returns for those retail stores while helping nonprofits meet their mission faster. And you can take this case study as an example. So we pulled this information from the public 10K that Walmart posted for last year, and we determined that based on our estimate, they're spending $58 billion per year on returns and reverse logistics. If they were to be using Liquid Donate, they would be able to save $56 billion a year and bring their costs down to just $2 billion a year, effectively saving them 95% on their reverse logistics costs. We're saving them on packaging, labor, shipping. Every return is a loss for a company, and everything that happens once it gets behind that returns counter ends up costing them even more money. So that, combined with the facts that we provide a tax receipt for each and every donation, allows them to have additional write-offs that save them this much money. And it's not just a dream. We've actually already had a lot of traction in the 11 months that we've been working on this company. We've donated over 9,000 items. We've diverted over 24,000 pounds of materials from landfills, and we've saved nonprofits over $100,000, and we're already live in all 50 states. And our retail stores love our pricing. We have pay-as-you-go pricing that is based on the volume, so that it encourages retail stores to donate items over and over again and to increase the volume at which they're donating at. With this pay-as-you-go pricing, we also have the option to upsell them on things like different data packages, subscriptions, delivery costs, things like that they're able to cover for the nonprofits as well. And as far as our market size goes, it's a huge market. If we were to just acquire the Walmart and Target stores in the United States, our market would be $69 billion. We're working on that today. And that's not just what we're hoping to do. We're hoping to see that we can radically help nonprofits do this landfill diversion, get these items that they need, and we hope to be international in the next 5 years. We're lucky that we've been funded for our Series C by Uncork Capital, and so today we're actually just looking for interest in our Series A. Chai and I will be around after the presentations today in order for you to have a conversation with us if you'd like to learn more, if you'd like to know anything about our product. Here are our email addresses as well, and we'd also like to say that we would prefer that you, instead of liquidating, liquid donate it. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. So next up, we have Karyn with Mappy. All right, Karyn.
Testing on the feedback. Feels like I was at a disco party. So, my name is Nolan, and I'm CEO and co-founder of Mappy for Maps to Make You Happy. We build geospatial platforms for venues. What is geospatial? Geospatial is location intelligence, or GIS, or maps of data. And for venues, we work with large venues like theme parks and museums. So I created the company because I am from a geospatial background. I've been working in the industry for over 20 years. And I actually was just trying to solve my own problem as a venue guest when I was trying to find my husband at a ski resort, and also trying not to end up on an advanced black diamond if I'm only an intermediate skier. On the back end with the venue operators, their problem is that they don't know how to share data across their different departments, and they're trying to improve guest experience. A lot of venues are still using hard copy artistic renderings for their maps. So when you walk into a large venue, you might be handed one of those hard copy maps. And although they do have digital forms of that in their mobile application, there's generally just a photo of the same hard copy map. So Mappy's solution is to build venue-specific operational maps that are social. So this allows the guests that are at the venues to be able to find their friends and families and amenities while they're on 2D and 3D maps, turn-by-turn navigation, indoor and outdoor mapping, and as well as AR. On the back end, it's all built on a data analytics platform, which allows the venues to see guest movement patterns in conjunction to their assets so that they can make data-driven decisions. We are a B2B SaaS business model, so we are usage-based based on how many app users. So while we focus on large venues, we have access points for the smaller venues, but then also it's an entry point for the larger customers to be able to scale. The value that our platform creates is that we improve guest experience, but we also increase revenue with increased ticket sales, and we reduce operational costs. But more importantly, it's a common map and a common authoritative data set for all the departments that are within that organization or within that venue. So while we're resolving the guest experience, we're also providing the right data to the right person at the right time. And we're integrating, as I said, with their existing systems so that all of the various departments have that data set and authoritative maps. We built our developer tools to be extendable to lots of different markets. So while we started with the ski resort industry, we actually have built our developer tools to be extensible to many, many different markets, because to us it's just operational layers. So with our ski resort testing, we tested our own technology for the past 2 winter seasons with our lighthouse customers. So we've been doing some pilot projects, showing them some data analytics examples, and we built a consumer-facing product so that we could test our own developer tools. So our sales pipeline is we sell direct to venues. So for example, within the ski resorts, we're working with Vail Corporation. And so our developer tools will be launched actually in November. So we are doing 5 resorts with Vail this winter into internal testing with the, for next year, we're gonna actually be implementing at all 40 resorts where our mapping engine is embedded within their mobile application. And then this year, we're working with the town of Mountain Village and Telluride, and they're actually building on our technology now, and we will be embedded as their mapping engine this season. I have to say, it's a tough job having to go to all these ski resorts to ski the tracks. My husband really enjoys that, actually. So we also are working with channel partners. So it ends up that the same app developers that are the developer that build apps to sell tickets and food and beverage for the ski resorts are the same app developers that build for cruise lines and museums and theme parks and festivals. So we're working with them very closely. And what was interesting is that we thought that they would be our competition initially, but what we found is that they're very excited to continue to do what they do best, which is to sell tickets and build applications. And then they're working with our turnkey geospatial expertise and solving those challenges. So with this, we just plan to scale quickly. So as I mentioned, we're launching our first version of our developer tools in November. We plan to land and expand and do ski resorts and do that really well. And then very quickly with our channel partners, we're strategically deciding which markets to go after next. So we're doing some fun projects to determine that next market. And then we will be expanding quickly within the next 5 years to many different markets. We have a very experienced, aka old, leadership team. I had to throw that out there because y'all are very young. But anyway, I've been in the industry for a very long time. So my co-founder and I have worked together for a very long time, and we both are 2-time founders. And so my last company focused on enterprise sales as well as GIS. And we have a very good technical crew with both app development, so Josh and Mike with app development as well as with data analytics. And so they've built our technical architecture to scale quickly. So we are currently raising 1.5 in our pre-seed. We have 500 remaining allocation. And we'd love to talk with any of you if you have any questions or if you have interest or if you just want to geek out about technology. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. All right, so next we have Pilar with Bonda. All right.
Hello. Hi, my name is Pilar Zárate, and I'm co-founder and CEO of Bonda. Bonda is a platform that is backed by psychological research to help remote teams measure and improve culture using quick fun games that you can integrate into your meetings. We have tested this concept and received amazing feedback from large organizations such as Airbnb, Airtable, and even Headspace. Prior to our launch, we already have 21 LOIs, 1 paid pilot, and a growing organic waitlist. Honestly, this has been so amazing for us to see that companies want to adopt these solutions because after struggling with toxic workplaces, my co-founder and I became deeply passionate to help organizations elevate happiness at work. This is my co-founder, Dr. Stephanie Palacios. She specializes in values alignment and clinical psychology. With a postdoctoral training from Harvard, she has worked in organizational consulting and corporate training for the past 12 years. My expertise is in user insights. Over the past 10 years, I've been working in marketing research and international business consulting, leading remote teams across Latin America. It's clear that today organizations are struggling building culture, and especially in remote teams. This problem is costing US businesses more than $1 trillion per year. So We spoke with leaders at large organizations to understand better the problem. And what we found is that the issue remains on the strategies that they are using today. For example, organizing happy hours, events, and activities, it takes a lot of time and effort. And leaders, they don't even know if these strategies and efforts are having an impact into their culture. You know why? Because even today, 2022, they are using surveys, annual and quarterly surveys. And research has already proven that those are unreliable. So let me ask you something. How can we improve what we cannot measure? That's why we create our solution, Bonda. Based on research that sets psychological safety as the foundation for positive culture, we created a system that is able to identify key indicators of psychological safety in the workplace and helps remote teams to improve them over time. Indicators such as levels of belonging, trust, connection, your team values, and happiness overall. You may be wondering, how are you able to track these indicators without using long, boring surveys? Well, that's the fun part. We're using 15-minute games that teams can use to kickstart meetings, replacing that typical boring icebreaker. And by just playing once per week, teams are reinforcing positive behaviors such as gratitude, reciprocity, mindfulness, and more. Behaviors that are actually have proven to improve psychological safety. And that's just the beginning. Because by being able to understand microcultures inside organizations, Bonda will be able to identify the unique culture DNA of a company, which is huge because that will help us to create an ecosystem of products and services around Bonda. This is a $300 billion opportunity. And yet our competitors continue to focus on traditional methods such as surveys. And those that are offering fun games, they're not really helping to predict and improve culture. So here's our goal. We want to become the culture engine for remote and hybrid teams. And this is how we are going to win this market. We're starting with fully remote companies with less than 500 employees because they are the ones that need us the most. And they're starting with a free 30-day trial. And after the trial, they are paying $12 per user per month. We're also going to integrate with their tools, such as Google Calendar, Slack, because that way we can encourage teams to play more games according to the occasion. This way we're going to increase retention and product usability. And to reach large organizations, we're going to have a small, a dedicated sales team, and we're going to build partnerships. So as you can see, we already have accomplished so much so far. Besides our LOIs, we are onboarding our first cohort of clients, and we are in talks with Slack and Twitter to build our case studies. So our next step is to implement their product feedback and onboard other 65 companies. And for that reason, we are seeking to raise $650K. So if you want to help us to build the culture engine for remote and hybrid teams and help us elevate happiness at work, let's talk after this presentation. Thank you.
Pilar. Good job. Okay. All right. Next up, Danielle with Before Noon.
Hi everyone, Danielle, co-founder and CEO of Before Noon. Before I dive in, however, I'd like you all to take a big, deep breath with me. So put your feet on the ground, hands in your lap, close your eyes, and as I count to 3, take a deep breath in. So 1, 2, 3, hold it. And release. Awesome, open your eyes. So Danielle, co-founder and CEO of Before Noon, we provide mental fitness plans for employees. Our founding team has a collective 40 years in corporate. We've known and worked together for 6 years now and bonded over our shared struggles with burnout. So my background, I come from 10 years in management consulting at Accenture, where I worked with executives at Nike, Nestle, and Sephora. Natasha's our chief experience officer. She was an early Lululemon employee and built and grew their women's yoga pants business. And Anne comes from 20 plus years in corporate sales and finance at brands like Ralph Lauren, Levi's, and Old Navy. So one thing we learned super early on about our team is our superpower is corporate sales. So we have 5 signed MOUs, which are memorandums of understanding, and 37 organizations on our wait list excited to get started with Before Noon. Ralph Lauren, for example, was so excited they immediately wanted to roll Before Noon out to all 20,000 employees. So what is Before Noon? We're solving for employee burnout. Organizations like Ralph Lauren spend $190 billion a year on burned out employees. $190 billion. 90% of which is preventable. So think of mental health and well-being as the spectrum from crisis to flourishing. And in the massive middle is where you get the terms languishing, quiet quitting, etc., which turns out is 90% of employee bases. So Before Noon is focused specifically on this 90% through personalized mental fitness plans. And our guiding vision is just like everyone has a physical fitness plan, in 3 years, everyone will have a mental fitness plan powered by Before Noon. The approach we take is the evidence-based PERMA model. We uniquely blend both Eastern and Western practices to teach employees how to move from languishing to flourishing using holistic preventive lifestyle practices. Oh, we may need a battery. Euphemism for burnout. We're also backed by an awesome team of leaders in the field through our scientific advisory board who ensures efficacy in every step. So how it works. The employer offers tailored Before Noon mental fitness plans to their employees to prevent burnout. So say you're an employee at Ralph Lauren, you go through our intake assessment, and through that process are given 5 recommendations of dedicated practitioners. From that you choose one, and in this example you choose Jeannie. After going through your one-on-one consultation with her, she tailors your mental fitness plan. Monday rolls around, it's the start of your plan. Breath work is the exercise for the day, so you click on the app, you move through the exercise, and she messages you in case you have any questions, gives you words of encouragement, and reminds you that she's here for you whenever you need her. The market term for East meets West practices is traditional and complementary medicine. It's a $413 billion market. The US market is a $124 billion market represented by the middle circle. Our beachhead is through the $11 billion US corporate benefits market represented by the small circle. So we start B2B before expanding into B2C. So you're probably thinking there's a million mental health apps out there. What sets Before Noon apart? So let me share the market landscape with you mapped against that well-being curve. So most of our competitors are focused on crisis mode solutions using conventional Western medicine, which makes sense. The past few years we've been in crisis. However, as we shift into our new normal, no one has packaged mental wellness into training plans, much like fitness, focused on building mental strength and preventing burnout. So what sets us apart is we are laser focused on these tailored training plans to prevent employee burnout using East meets West practices. And I call it East meets West specifically because no one has modernized Eastern medicine and brought it to the mainstream market. So for what I mean by that is that modalities such as hypnotherapy and Ayurveda, for example, have been around for thousands of years, are growing in popularity, and have scientific research to back them up. Our unfair advantage as a founding team is we have networked with our ecosystem of buyers for 40 years now, a combined 40 years. So we have 5 signed MOUs with companies who have offered to pay $30 to $50 per employee per month to offer Before Noon to their employees. Our sales approach, we start with team leaders who have budget to spend on their employees. In order to hit $500,000 in revenue in 2023, we sell into 10 teams, 5 of which we've already landed and have a wait list of 37 more. By year 3, we shift to selling into HR leaders for enterprise-wide contracts. And to hit 32 million in annual revenue in 5 years, we sell into 22 enterprises. So the path forward, we have 250K left of our 750K pre-seed round. We've gotten a lot of interest and the round is moving pretty quickly. Come find me after if you'd like to talk more about the future of mental wellness in the workplace.
Thank you, Danielle. All right, next up we have Ben with Healthible. If you were paying attention to our gallery, it was previously called A-Forms. So, new name. Woohoo!
Okay, so I'm Ben Allen, and I'm the founder of Healthable. We work with doctors and insurers to improve patient health using our AI-backed digital health counselor. So a quick snapshot about the business. We have about $1 million in revenue lined up for 2023 with some insurance companies, which seem to be our primary targets, as well as large health systems. We have a team of healthcare experts. We're not raising at the moment, but we will be in 2023. We do have an ask, though, at the end of this. We got to take advantage, right? Got to get the asking. So essentially the problem that we're addressing is that doctors and insurers are unable to adequately educate patients in a way that sufficiently drives behavior. So an example of that is this $730 billion a year that is spent treating preventable illnesses. I'm sure a lot of you have heard these kinds of figures. The 10 minutes that a doctor has with a patient, the pamphlets and the handouts that they give, the short little educational videos, the text message reminders aren't adequately addressing this problem. So we need something that actually works for patients. We need something that works on understanding, motivation, as well as access. So that's what we're building. We're including into our AI digital, our AI-backed digital health coach, evidence-based practices that our researchers have been studying and developing in robust clinical trials. These are highly effective at driving specific single-step health behaviors, things like vaccinations and screenings. And that's essentially what our technology does. So it first engages patients, whether at the visit to save provider time or between visits. And then it understands where a patient's level of understanding is, what their level of motivation is, what their level of access is, and then it works with them using evidence-based practices to improve all of those areas. And then again, it links them to care if necessary, and on the back end, or to access to resources. And then on the back end, we have data that provides actionable insights to our partners. So backdrop to the market, some of the costs that we're looking to offset here are these $730 billion in avoidable costs. And then healthcare provider time is becoming more and more narrow. We're already in a deficit of physicians, which is going to be up to about 300,000 physicians short in the US in about 10 years. So we're looking to offset some of those problems and costs. Based on our business model, which is a per user per month right now, SaaS model, we see about $29 billion. So where do we fit in this landscape and why now? So there's an exciting sort of burgeoning field of prescription digital therapeutics, which is essentially software that's offered by prescription that's shown in clinical trials to prevent or manage serious illnesses. There's a lot of white space in this area. A lot of the companies that are in there now are working more on chronic conditions. We see an entire vertical inside of that is not being addressed with these single-step health behaviors. And as I said, we're using these practices developed by our researchers. They're not scalable when they're one-to-one, but we're adopting those into technology to make something more effective than the pamphlets, the handouts, et cetera. And then there's a lot of infrastructure that exists for patient engagement. We believe we can work right into that or through that, as we've done with previous clients. So our current team, I'm an educator by trade, that's my background. And then I'm a serial entrepreneur, and I've worked in healthcare, selling a prototype of this product to a mid-sized hospital system, as well as the Department of Public Health, and having worked with United Health Group. Our technical lead is a PhD and focused on AI research and chat technology. And our clinical lead is an MD who's an NIH-funded researcher who focuses on preventative health engagement. Okay, so at the end here, we don't have the ask yet, or we don't have an ask for raising yet. Because of these LOIs, we're really just heads down at the moment, but we are looking for amazing talent. So if people know awesome clinical folks or researchers or technical people or folks in sales, please see me at the end.
All right, good job, Ben. Next up, Karyn. Woo! Sensay.
Hi everyone, thank you for being here. I'm Caren, the CEO and co-founder of Sensay, and we are an AI-powered English speaking tool for K-12 students and teachers. I'm coming to you guys from Taipei, Taiwan. So we're one of the international startups here. So the problem that we're seeking to solve is that in non-English speaking countries around the world, which is 83% of the world, there's not enough opportunities to actually practice speaking English on a daily, frequent basis, to be fluent, confident speakers. If you've ever learned a second language, you guys know that if speaking is kind of like a use it or lose it skill, and so it's almost impossible for these students, and 1.5 billion of them around the world, to have enough opportunities to practice speaking English on a regular basis. So what is Sensay? We make speaking really fun and instructive. So it's a simple web app where teachers create speaking exercises, whether that's text to read, questions to answer, images to describe. It's very simple to use, and our AI gives the student instant feedback on their pronunciation and fluency instantly. So you can see here that it's a really fun, easy to use product that students are speaking 20 minutes per month on average in our platform, and we've collected over 1,500 hours of audio data through our platform so far. But don't just take my word for it. Let's take a look at a little boy in the countryside of Taiwan. So he's a student who has 0 minutes of speaking time ever, because it's just not available, and he's using Sensay. And the audio doesn't work on this video, so I hope it works now. Well, it worked during the practice session, but you can see that just visually, you can see like how excited the boy is. And if you've spent any time in Asia, this is truly transformative for students like this, who you would never see a little kid being like, yeah, I'm speaking English, oh my God, I got an 83, that's super exciting. You would never see that. You would see a really scared, embarrassed student who doesn't want to speak because they don't want to make a mistake. So our current traction, we've reached over 17,000 unique students around the world actually, and 2,000 teacher signups organically. We flipped the platform to paid this past July, so we now have 1,300 students that are using the platform on a paid basis. This is because either their teacher or their school has paid for the platform. Those of you who may be somewhat familiar with the edtech space or the ESL edtech space, it is a huge industry, $12.4 billion, growing at a fast clip with global events, happening. English very literally is a pathway out of poverty, and so this industry is not going away anytime soon. Our go-to-market strategy is sort of three-pronged. We get into the public schools first, and then we go to private schools that we direct sell to, and we work with regional resellers in the APAC region. So we already have, we're in discussions with these partners that have a presence in over 20 countries in the region. And for the public school for Taiwan, for example, there is a $630 million government tender that's for 4 years, because they're working on the bilingualization of the island, as well as the digitization of education. So we are an approved vendor with the Ministry of Education, and we have a deal signed with an edtech agent to sell us into these public schools at scale. Our business model is an annual subscription, so we're SaaS. Public schools get a wholesale cheaper price. We upgrade the accounts if the parents choose to pay for a more robust product offering. And then of course, privately, we sell to the private schools, the Caren schools, as well as direct to consumer. It's a much higher price point for a more robust product, like I said. For financial projections,
22,000 paid users is our goal for next year, which we know is very reasonable actually because that amounts to about 120 cram schools. Cram schools are like after school private schools. If you guys are familiar with Asia, over 70% of students go to these schools after their public school to cram for subjects. And then the other portion is assuming that only 5% of parents upgrade to the paid version through the government tender. And we expect to grow exponentially because there's so much synergy involved with public schools and private schools in the region. And there's a lot of market opportunity. So outside of Taiwan, Japan, and South Korea have very similar educational ecosystems. So we can replicate exactly what we've done in Taiwan in those markets. So that'll be our priority. Then we'll go to APAC, like I said, with the regional resellers, and then LATAM and EMEA. And we actually have paying customers in those regions currently, so we know the insight translates over, doesn't matter where the students are. So this is our team. I'm Caren. I'm like running out of breath. So I have an MBA from USC Marshall. My first corporate job was at GSK. Launching brands like Children's Flonase in North America was my job, as well as launching other mega brands in the China region. And then Lucas is our CTO. He's been coding since he was a little boy. He has his master's in machine learning. And Lelaine is our product lead, and she's a designer by training as well as an educator. So she knows the insights that we're exactly trying to tackle for. Our raise today, we're raising our 700K seed. This is 18 months runway for us. You can take advantage of the fact that labor in Taiwan is a little bit cheaper than out here in the Bay. So again, the milestones, 22K. Paid users by the end of next year. We already have POCs for things like longer form assessments that do include things like vocabulary, lexile level, and other things. Voice games, we also have a POC for, as well as offering more content, as well as a direct-to-consumer app eventually in 2024. Thank you so much. Let me know if you have questions.
All right. Thank you, Karen. Okay, next up is Neal with Quibble.
All right, hello everyone. I'm Neal, the CEO of Quibble. And Quibble does pricing and revenue management, very much like airlines do, but we do it for short-term rental companies. More? All right, is that better? Yes. All right, thank you. So the reason we're working on this problem is largely due to the background of our founding team. I worked in pricing and revenue management for over 10 years in the airlines. At Virgin America, I led our revenue strategy team where I was responsible for optimizing all of our pricing algorithms. And I've consulted with over a dozen airlines in helping them optimize their pricing as well. My co-founder and our CTO, Gustavo, is both a data scientist and a software engineer. So he has experience in building several other software applications. The problem for property management companies is they lose substantial amounts of revenue due to bad pricing. In our experience consulting to these managers, we've seen them lose between 15 and 30% of their annual earnings just due to bad pricing. For a property manager with, say, 100 properties under management, that's a loss of $700,000 a year. Quibble provides airline quality pricing and revenue management software to property management companies to help them recapture that lost revenue. We dynamically price all of their inventory. We provide portfolio analytics so they understand where their revenues are and where their revenues are trending towards. And we provide market intelligence so they can keep an eye on what their competitors are doing. We do have competitors in this space, the most basic of which is just a property manager and an Excel sheet. But there are also data providers, which provide aggregated pricing information on your surrounding neighborhood so you know where your competitors are priced. We have competitors that do basic dynamic pricing by simply looking at market supply and trying to follow pricing changes that they see in the market. Quibble does advanced dynamic pricing. We can accurately forecast demand for each unique property before we optimize the price. The whole short-term rental market has all adopted this supply-side pricing model. It's a simple model that simply looks at what your neighbors are doing and tries to follow the pricing changes that they see. Our model is a demand-side model. It can look at all the attributes of a listing. to determine which ones consumers care about based on historical purchasing behavior. Where our competitors only optimize based on changes in price, Google can optimize based on any of the changes of the listing. It's the most advanced model in short-term rentals today. Our market's made up of over 170,000 property management companies. Those are our customers. Our product fits best with the 20,000 property management companies that have large portfolios, managing over 100 properties. Right now, that market is underserved, and Quibble can offer our software to them, which is a $120 million opportunity. Quibble offers 3 products to the market. We have our Insights and our Insights Pro, which are our analytics platform based on a freemium model, which is currently available to the market. Our Revenue OS is our full dynamic pricing, which will be available late in Q1 of next year. We just launched Insights and Insights Pro with our first integration partner, Guesty, and we had great results. We've already got 600 properties onto the platform within the first 2 weeks. Wow, it was hard to do. So our path to market starts with our freemium offering. And this is a really low friction way to provide value to property managers while starting meaningful relationships with them. We also partner with property management systems. Guesty was our first integration partner. We have 5 others in the pipeline, which we want to plan to repeat the success we've seen with Guesty. We operate in a growing market. The inventory in short-term rentals is forecasted to grow at 3 to 4% per year for the next 7 years. There's demand in the market for a robust airline-style pricing and revenue management application, and Quibble's here to meet that need. We're currently raising $500,000 to help us expand our integrations into the market and execute our go-to-market strategy. Thank you all. It's a pleasure speaking with you, and we look forward to talking with you after the event.
Thank you, Neal. Next up, Chiara, all the way from Italy. Nonna Live. Okay, Nonna Live.
Nice to meet everybody. Yeah, I come from Italy. I come from a small village in the middle of nowhere in Italy exactly. You know, that kind of place where everybody knows each other and you really want to escape when you're a teenager. That is what I did. And where you come back when you're in trouble. What I did too. So I come back to my grandma's home while pregnant and deeply scared. And that woman over there starting to feed me with a bunch of pasta, and she's starting to tell me about her life and her mom, her grandma, their poor recipes and their tables always full of people. She gave me back my past and a new perspective. And so one day I shot a picture with my phone and I posted it on Facebook, and this is how the world transferred. A dream that fastly became a business, really fast, in a way that was not accepted for me. I am the founder and CEO of Nonna Live, and we are an online live cooking experience where grandmas teach the art and love of traditional recipes to people from all around the world. Actually, we had more than 20,000 customers the last 2 years for $3 million revenue, and I was wondering why, because I didn't know. And so I asked them, so why are you booking? And yes, all of them, they wanted to know how to cook good Italian food. But more than ever, they were looking for a safe place and a human connection. And obviously, grandma's home was the best answer. And because I couldn't sell my own grandma, we had to make products. So we sell public classes, private classes, mainly team building, and a subscription model. So no matter how you come to us, we will push you to our subscription. And we do it every day with the best quality we can, with a high quality TV set, multiple camera angles, lights, and microphones, and a team of professionals. So, as you're looking at TV show, but it's interactive. And now let me tell you why this matters and where we're going. So, if the global online cooking market size will double in the next 4 years, if we keep doing what we are actually doing, we will be at 10 million in revenue in 4 years. But this is not enough, right? So, what if we copy and paste what we are doing in Italy to all the amazing cultures around the world and represent those women? So, the projection will change. So this is what will happen just adding one market per year in the next 4 years. And why are we comfortable saying that this will work is because what we have seen in the last 2 years. So we have a high shareable social media content. We are full of people that speak about us every day with posts and stories. And because of our high quality, we are all around the TV shows cooking with people like DMA and Today. And also both Shopify and Airbnb made a documentary about our stories. And our team buildings are one of our best sellers. So we actually run team buildings for Google, Facebook, Salesforce, you name it, we have it. And we are really proud to say that even though we offer a lot of classes, like 24 classes per day even, our rate is really high. So we have more than 5,000 reviews and 499 stars. And the best part is our team. We have the best team ever. The guy here, he is my co-founder. He was one of my first guests. He tried to steal my grandma, actually. And my COO, Chiara, that is a crazy globetrotter and worked for companies all around the world, and the head of tech, editor, and director, the man, behind the cameras and behind our technology. And this is a whole community. So this business actually changed a whole village in Italy. We created a microeconomy. So here you can see a lot of grandmas. One of them is over there. And then the grandchildren, so the translator, the technician, and obviously her, the first one. She's 85 years young now, the one that told me yes at the beginning. And I will be happy to tell you more. And thank you so much. And if you want to help us to keep honoring our women forever. Thank you.
Thank you, Chiara. That's awesome. So anybody can sign up for the classes, by the way. All right, so that is cohort 14. Big round of applause for cohort 14. Show's not over. We have some bonus rounds for you. So first up, we're going to hear from a couple companies in our pre-accelerator program. They came through the program with us, and they've earned a spot here today. They've worked really hard. So first up, Reeler. Come on now.
All right, hi everyone. So we don't have any grandmas, but we probably should. So my name is Spencer, and as you can see here from this photo, my co-founder Lauren and I are very passionate fisher people. Throughout college, we fished commercially a few times a week, and throughout that time, we had really great insight into the seafood industry and found a few problems that we were blown away with. The first problem is that fresh fish in stores is generally 3 weeks old or older, and it looks like this here on the left. Fish that is actually fresh looks like this here on the right, and it's pretty obvious to tell the difference. The other big problem is the huge markup that we see between wholesale and retail. We would regularly see our catch get marked up over 1,100%, and that's a big problem for consumers, but also a big problem for the fishers. So part of the reason why that's so there's such a huge markup there is because of a very convoluted supply chain. And it doesn't have to be that way. There's a lot of middlemen that push around the fishers, and they don't really add much value. And historically, there's been no good way to sell direct to consumer until now. Reeler is a direct to consumer marketplace app. So the way it works is, as a buyer, you sign up and you get notified of fresh fish or seafood caught near you. And then you can learn, order, and pay right through the app. And then pick up the fish directly from the fisher, either at the dock or wherever they set up a retail site. So we're completely hands-off. All fulfillment is handled by the seller, and that keeps the prices great for everybody, fresher fish, and it's a scalable model. So we currently have a live MVP app that we've been incubating in Hawaii. We've done over $80,000 in total fish sales through the app, with over 5,500 buyers and 500 fishers signed up with no paid marketing. So we've seen a lot of. So we've seen great feedback so far. We have a lot of power users. People really love what they're getting. So it's really exciting that we've proven the concept and our hypothesis of being able to help fishers earn better prices. We're helping, even on our very lean MVP, we've helped fishers earn 3 times their average wholesale earnings from before Reeler. We're also helping people buy 20 times fresher fish, and as you saw in the photos, you can definitely tell a difference. We've also, another very important thing is that this is all from 100% known local source. So it's traceable, it's sustainable, and it's local, which is really important today more than ever, and there's a growing trend of people wanting transparency in the food supply chain. So we have very happy customers who are also paying customers. We didn't want to go the freemium model. We started out with a 13% introductory commission, and we know based on our feedback that we can improve that take rate, as well as offering other revenue models, including a paid membership for features that people want to see, as well as very niche ads for such a targeted market, to bring our margin to over 40%. So we've been incubating in Hawaii, but this is definitely a universal idea. We have over 60,000 small-scale fishers in the US who could feasibly sell their catch locally, and that makes up a $1.5 billion market each year, and that's at the wholesale level. And keep in mind, we're already helping fishers earn 3 to 5 times their average wholesale earnings. And then on the global side, and there's a lot of potential for growth there as well. So this is especially timely now because we're facing more and more regulations as fishers, and the small-scale fishers that we work with usually get priority in those quotas. And because the catch is artificially limited, we need to get the best prices possible for the limited catch that we're allowed to get. We also face high costs like every other industry, especially with fuel and equipment. And the relatively new supply chain tech enables this through the mobile app technology and the sharing economy. It's never really been possible before to enable a direct-to-consumer model. So we're in, this model is kind of inevitable because fishers need to get better prices, and there's no way to do that better than going direct-to-consumer. We're currently raising a $600K pre-seed round to create a optimized version of our very lean MVP, which will enable us to scale to a few key areas around the US, including here in San Francisco, down in San Diego, and both coasts of Florida, where we literally have fishermen begging us to launch in their area so they can get a direct-to-consumer model. Thank you, and be happy to talk to you.
Spencer. I've never known anybody to practice a pitch more than Spencer, so I'm glad it went off without a hitch. Next up, Nick.
What's going on, everyone? It's great to be here. My name is Nick Vandenberg, and I'm the CEO and founder of SoundSwell, where we're building the world's most ruggedized and versatile headphones to help athletes and adventurers truly take audio capabilities anywhere they go. So as an extreme sports athlete who loves exercising with music, I started SoundSwell out of a frustration that the traditional earbuds we use every day don't really work for certain extreme sports and activities. So as a water sports athlete, they're not waterproof enough for me, and Bluetooth issues are nearly inevitable since the range of Bluetooth underwater is only 6 inches. But perhaps more generally and more importantly, they're far too easy to lose. So to put this problem into perspective, replacement AirPods accounted for $700 million in Apple sales in 2019. So with these problems guiding our product design process, my team launched our MVP, which was a waterproof Apple Watch audio accessory at the end of last year. And our one-year beta with over 400 paying customers and nearly 100 professional athletes has helped us learn so much about where to take the product. Overall, the broader opportunity to support more use cases and more devices than just the Apple Watch came into picture, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But even just within the water sports market exclusively, and just with Apple Watch users, we've seen scalable unit economics and got amazing feedback from our users who were finally able to swim, surf, wakeboard, and more with their libraries from Spotify and Apple Music. And from prospective users, we learned that 20% of athletes were willing to pay a premium of over $150 on the right audio solution for their sport. And even the pros we've given the product to have absolutely raved about it, with Jamie O'Brien, pro surfer from Oahu, saying it's the best thing to happen to surfing, and Koa Rothman, pro surfer from Oahu as well, saying that surfing with music is the sickest thing ever in classic surf speak. So needless to say, it's been super rewarding sharing the product with the core demographics that we built it for, but now we're evolving SoundSwell to be more widely applicable for more use cases. So now you can use SoundSwell from anywhere from the gym to the ocean as a surfer, which offers a level of versatility that's unparalleled in the audio market. And by targeting these industries and markets in the sports and active lifestyle space, what we're doing, like water sports, winter sports, and action sports, what we're doing is building a captivating and aspirational brand with amazing marketing content, but really anyone can benefit from the extreme versatility, ruggedization, and wearability of our headphones. And we're revolutionizing the water sports audio segment with the first product that is a solution for the entire water sports audience and beyond. And so really our patent pending design serves a larger market than any competitor. The market we're targeting is the $1.4 billion market that we're calling the action headphone market, which is sort of this intersection of the action camera market and the global headphone market. Comparably, the action camera market, or I always say that SoundSwell is to your AirPods what your GoPro will be to your iPhone camera. And comparably, the action camera market was $4.4 billion in size in 2019 and growing. We've got an amazing team who's super passionate about the product. We all use it. And one recent notable addition to the team is David Westendorf, a Maverick surfer who is the president of Jaybird when they sold the Logitech for $50 million. Our go-to-market for our next version of the product is to organize conversations with prospective celebrity co-founders, and then activate our community through community activation events and influencer testimonials, gathering content for our Kickstarter campaign in the first half of next year. We've seen other audio products do as much as $3 million in pre-sales on Kickstarter. And then finally, when we launch, we'll partner with retailers to build a sustainable distribution network to support our continued growth. We believe we're in a position to sell 750,000 units over the next 5 years, earning $75 million in revenue out in 5 years. And to do so, we are raising $1 million in seed funding with Safe Instruments, which will provide 18 months of financing and help us fulfill our potential as the pioneer of this action headphone market. So thanks so much. If you're interested in helping me or our team, let's talk in the networking session.
All right, so thank you. Next up, we're going to have some updates from alumni. So we'd like to bring Kevin with Beachley to give us an update. I think Beachley, what cohort were you in, Kevin? 10? 9. Cohort 9. Okay, let's see how far you got.
All right, hello everybody. I'm Kevin Tighe. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Beachley Brands. It's good to be back here in the Wilson Sonsini office, first time since 2019. So, as we just mentioned, we are part of Blue Startups Cohort number 9, which took place in spring of 2017. So it's a long time ago. I have a lot less hair now, married, all that stuff. So going through Blue was a really unique experience and something that I'll never forget. Not only did I get to work on my company in paradise for 3 months, I got to connect with the Blue Startups Cohort. And that's a group of advisors, supporters, and people who have become lifelong friends. So I just want to give a big thanks to Chenoa and the whole Blue Startups team. To support myself and Beachly, and congrats on all the success, and congrats to the cohort. Those are great pitches. All right, so enough about them, back to us. All right, so Beachly Brands, our mission is to connect ocean and outdoor enthusiasts all over the world to the lives that they love to live. The way we're doing this is through a portfolio of membership-based brands rooted in beach, outdoor, and action lifestyles. So our flagship brand is called Beachly, and since launch, we've become the leading subscription retailer of beach apparel and accessories. We currently have offers for women, men, and we recently launched beauty. Side note, when I talk about that Blue Ohana, in addition to investing and supporting, they'll also model. This guy right here is sitting here in the audience. He's also a Blue Startups mentor. Thanks, Joey Casson. So since launching in 2016, we've demonstrated fast yet efficient growth. We're on track to hit almost 12 million in sales this year. We were also named to the Inc. 500 in both 2020 and 2021. So let's talk numbers. In the last 12 months, we've generated over 11 million in sales. Currently, we have 29,000 active members. We generate about $750 in revenue per member. And we've done this all while raising only $550,000 in equity funding. So we focus on cash efficiency. So what's next for us? Coming up, we're about to launch something which we like to call our membership commerce platform. This is an online store where for an annual membership fee, outdoor enthusiasts will be able to purchase gear, accessories, and apparel at wholesale prices. So it's similar to the Costco model, or if you're familiar with Thrive Market, I like to call it Thrive Market meets REI. After launching that, we're going to raise additional growth capital, and then the focus for the next few years is just going to be on incorporating additional outdoor markets. So that's it for my quick alumni update. If you want to connect to talk investment opportunities, partnerships, or anything else, feel free to reach out. So thanks for having me.
Evan, I love it. Short and sweet. Okay, last but not least, we have Pat from Vanta. Come on down.
Okay, we actually rebranded to just Vanta. So.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so I'm Pat Cronin. I am the CEO of Vanta. Esports, for those that don't know, this is the world of competitive video gaming.
Pat.
A little bit higher?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so I want to start by building a shared vision for the future. In 2030, esports will be the biggest sport in the world by every metric. You'll have 120,000 schools in the US, over 80% with esports programs. That'll translate into 5 million gamers or more competing under the age of 18 every single year. Because of the digital nature of esports and because of the digital nature of this industry, there's going to be one company that rules all other companies in this space. It'll provide all of the infrastructure, the platform, the coaching for every company, and it will surpass $1 billion in annual revenue by the year 2030. Vanta is positioned to be that company. Now, I want to start by saying the industry does not have the infrastructure today to support that growth. What I mean by that is there's very little coaching and development. If you compare this to a traditional sport, there is a piecemeal, fractured market of platforms that do a little bit of everything. There's no pipeline to the pro teams. There's very little training and resources to the scholastic market. This is the optimal time to invest in esports. The market itself is basically doubling every 5 years. 2020, it was bigger than music and film combined at $174 billion, and the scholastic market has exploded. It went from 5 years ago, less than 500 teams across the US, to 20,000 schools today across several different companies. Beyond that, the gamers themselves, 90% of kids today consider themselves a gamer. On average, 69 minutes of gaming is done every single day by gamers under the age of 18. So So this is a huge market. It's growing rapidly still, and there's a huge preponderance of gamers that really need a company to build infrastructure and build the space in the right way. Now what we built is the start of this, the building blocks, free K through 12 leagues, breaking down those barriers for schools with coaches on a safe platform. I stress safe because this is an industry rife with cyberbullying and toxicity. It's actually why we started this in the first place, but it's more from there. What we're really trying to recreate is a traditional sports model in esports. Right? Seasonal leagues, we have twice a year. We have the fall season, the spring season. You have esports coach-led practices, somebody who actually knows the games, they're actual gamers themselves. And you have broadcasted games involving the family and a focus on holistic development, right? All the things that I got as an athlete growing up, transferring that to esports, all the soft skills that you would get to go along with that. How it works, very simply, is we have the schools sign up, they get on for free. If they opt for coaching, they go into a regular season where they have 2 practices a week. They have the coaches focusing on that teamwork, communication, as well as in-game skills. Now, we broadcast the games, we put them on our Twitch, and then we have postseason brackets just like you would for a normal sport, and we have in-person esports arena championships as well. Now, our business model has evolved. We started with just a coach league, and what we built is this flywheel for customer acquisition. We have free scholastic wheels, free scholastic leagues, and we work with the associations like athletic associations, other education associations that work with multiple schools to get a lot of school teams and a lot of players on the platform. We then sell our coaching. Either the schools pay us, or we have brand sponsors that want to get in front of these kids and get in front of these schools that purchase the coaching for the schools. They underwrite that for them. The other thing that we do is we do private coaching, so all of the players on our platform have access to our private coaching as well. When I was here last year, sitting in the seats for the cohort 14, we had 27 teams. So we've come a long way from then. It's been literally 1 year. We have 1,000 teams on the platform this fall. We've only had 2 growth periods, like I said, it's a seasonal business. There was the spring season and this fall season, so astronomical growth. Over 800 coaches. We've done 28 conference deals, and this feeds that flywheel that I'm talking about. UIL in Texas being the 2nd largest athletic association in the country. We've done professional partnerships, channel partnerships as well. So just a ton of work has been done over the last year commercially on building this business. The largest opportunity is a recent one. We're really excited about this direction. We've proposed a $25 million deal with the U.S. Army to basically revolutionize how they do recruiting. If you're familiar with this, they have a huge issue right now, a recruiting crisis that we can fill the gap very quickly. Our revenue is up and to the right. We've done a great job so far. We're projecting 1.2 million this year, and by the end of a 5-year forecast, about 128 million based on this model. We've got a lot of support from our investors, Scout Ventures. I think I saw that earlier with one of the other cohort companies. We recently raised our seed round, $2.5 million. It was oversubscribed, and we are now just looking to take on a little bit more investment before the end of the school year, or the end of the calendar year, about $1 million through Safe Notes. So if you're interested, I'm available. I know I probably went over a little bit, tried to rush through it. So nice to meet you, I'm Pat.
But that's okay, I'm gonna yell at you. All right, thank you everybody. Congratulations to all my companies. Coming out in person, I know that's hard these days, so I appreciate every one of you who is in this room. I appreciate all the companies, all their hard work, all our mentors, and all our investors who are here and elsewhere around the world. Please stay and have some drinks and some L&L barbecue. This is Hawaii food. Right here in San Francisco. So, all right. And thank you to our host at Wilson Sonsini. Roy in the back here is representing this law firm. Go talk